B.O.B.
What up, world? Your boy Chuck Wick, ill, aka Charles Brown, back again with another review. But first, I want to ask you, good. All right, man. This time we're gonna talk about your boy Big Sean, the notorious B.I.G. All right, man. So this is what I want to say about Big Sean. I ain't never listened to a full Big Sean album. That is a confession I have to make. I've never listened to a full one. Big Sean, to me, gets very, very busy when he comes into the scene as a collaboration. Like, Sean is one of them dudes that want to eat the track. He want to eat it. If it's of MCs on there, he want to step his game up, to me. He got a lot of nice singles over the years. I want to say Big Sean got at least 15, like minimum of 15 solo joints and probably another 15, 25 collab joints that's banging. Dude knows what he's doing as far as rapping. I'm gonna say all that before I start this review. Signed to good music, signed to Kanye, and I don't ever even think of him as a Kanye artist, to be honest with you. I know he rapped for Kanye and got signed by Ye after he bust out, did a freestyle or something, a acapella or something. But I don't look at him as he's so far removed from the Kanye feel to me for what Ye used to do and what he does now. I don't think Big Sean biggest hits have that Ye stamp on him. I think he in and of himself, and I like Big Sean. I want to preface this with saying I like Big Sean. I like what he do. I used to didn't like that he was saying that Notorious B.I.G. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't feeling that. I didn't like that. But I got over it. Just like I got over Hov saying Hov. When Jay-Z first called himself Hov, I ain't like that. I'm like, how you gonna call yourself Hov? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was more so playing with religion and to a degree. But I got over that. It's whatever. So I think that Big Sean shines when he works with other people. Let me just start that. I think, what is it going on? Gotta be 10 years. Easily in the game. Probably more than 10 years. But I know it's easily, I think Big Sean, gotta be 10 years. I don't remember what the first song was. I'm not sure if him and Tiger came out around the same time. But I don't remember what Big Sean's first single was. Was it Click? Was it Click? I think it might be Click. It might be Click. That was Big Sean's first single. I don't really remember, but I know when he hit hard, and dude came like a whirlwind out of nowhere. And I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody was, for years, Sean was like under the radar type. He was known, he was big, but he wasn't mentioned in that top 10, top 20 talk. It's like you had to kind of nudge him in there if you rocked with him or not, but it wasn't like something where you didn't like him, so you know you had to omit him from the conversation, or it was like you did like him, but you was putting him in there just off the love, because it was like, I don't think a lot of people, even though they liked him, they didn't really put him in that conversation, you know what I'm saying? And then out of nowhere, Control comes. He drops the verse. Kendrick's on the joint. Kendrick shakes the whole game up on another dude's song. You know what I'm saying? And Big Sean, to me, seemed to got a little, he started taking it a little certain kind of way when everybody was saying Kendrick outshined him on his own. So I think he was taking the kind of way just the fact that Kendrick was getting all the love that he was getting for that song. And Big Sean started acting funny about that. Every time they started asking him, and the further and further it got out, the older the song got, the more crabby he got when you brought the song up. Like, why you still talking about that? I got an album out. So little stuff like that I remember about Big Sean. But what I do remember the most about Big Sean is I feel he inserted himself into that top 10 conversation when no one else was saying Big Sean is top 10. So, that's what you want to do. Now, you can't insert yourself without a little bit of validity to back that up. So some people had to argue, does he belong in that conversation? And this for a slight minute, it's like in between albums, he did something, he was doing a little something, and it started to be like, well, why can't you have the conversation that he can't be in the top 10? Why are we so adamant that he can't be? Like, what's the criteria? We started questioning the people in the top 10, and we started questioning the criteria of how they got there. And it started being like, well, maybe Sean can be in that top 10 conversation. And, he kept doing, quality guest appearances and things like that. So fast forward a little bit after that, Sean took I don't know if he took the hiatus during that or after that, but he took a hiatus. He said he's getting his head right, getting his mentality together, getting a lot of stuff in his mind, getting focused on some things, just resting, trying to deal with a lot of internal things. And he's going on his, sabbatical, and he had Janae Aiko, and they was going through a whole bunch of stuff. They did that 2088, which I like that album. I dig that album he did with Janae. I'm like a Janae fan. I love Janae Aiko, so that's just me. But they did the 2088. It was like, it was hit but not hit. It was like in the middle. It's like people found it, they rock with it, but a lot of people didn't. So it's just something that came and went. So we probably ain't getting no sequel to that. But I say all that to say this: Big Sean has always been out here doing music, but he's always had to force himself into the conversations. Like, Drake automatically get in the conversations and people feel strongly one way or the other, but he's in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Big Sean, a lot of people be like, oh yeah, it's like a hot model that you don't think about till you see her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah. And then people start putting him in the conversation. Now, me personally, I don't think Sean has enough range to be in the top 10. It's just me. I don't think his range is there. But he has enough records. You know what I'm saying? I think he has enough records, and he always makes smash records. When I started to see a chink in the armor with Sean, and I was like, nah, he ain't in nobody's top 10, was this last joint he dropped with, who was that he was rapping with? He got a song. It just came out about 3-4 months ago. And I think he did it. No, you know what? It came out, it was before COVID. It came out during football, because he dropped it like during the playoffs or something. It was before all this, and he came out and performed it with, I can't remember who it was he was rapping with. I think it was YG or somebody like that. I can't remember. And I was like, no, this is not it, bro. This right here, this sound like a dude just threw this together because he was on a deadline, and he just threw it together. And I don't think you could be top 10 when you just throwing stuff together that's uninspired. And Big Sean said himself he was uninspired. He had a lot of mental blocks going on, a lot of things that made him not want to even, let alone do rap, that made him not even want to be alive. You know what I'm saying? Just that kind of mental stuff. And we all go through that here and there. And we all try to figure out, what's it all about, and we feel a certain way about this and that. But I say that to say this: we are all, when we are artists, we're going to be judged by the work we finally put it out, right? The work that we finally submit to the world. We say this is what it is, blah, blah, blah. Big Sean submitted that music, and he did a video. I don't even think he really believed in the song, but he just ran with it, right? So it's like, all right, everybody can stumble. Everybody, Jay-Z stumble. Everybody stumbles. Nas stumbles. It's whatever. So, all right, so I can't take nothing from him. I can't say, all right, he ain't top 10 just because that one song or whatever. And, I mean, it's not really, to me, he not top 10 anyway. But that's not for me to say who is top 10 and who ain't automatic. If they put enough work in, and they do enough numbers, and they do enough good quality music to offset the music that ain't that good, then we got a conversation. So I'm like, all right, he's dropping this Detroit 2. Sometimes to me, it's all about that one album. It's that one game that's going to solidify your top 10 status. Like, per se, let's say Rick Ross, right? I feel like Rick Ross, I know there's some people who are going to say he has no classics. I feel like Teflon Don is Rick Ross's classic album. I feel like with that one album, he made a classic. I feel like he hasn't repeated it, but I feel like with that album, it was stable enough, had enough good songs. And Freemasons with Jay, he had a couple joints, like a couple bangers on there. It wasn't much to complain about on that album. I feel like that was his one album to prove that he can rock with the big boys and be mentioned. Not saying top 10, top 20 or whatever, but on that elite level. Some of these guys never hit elite level to me. I'm going to give you a clue. I'm going to give you an example. I don't think Wale ever has hit elite status, in my opinion, because not only because the constant complaining and always being the victim of something, but I don't think he knows where he wants to go as far as outside of what his comfort zone is. It's always, all of his hits are right about the same comfort level. They're all female driven, which is whatever. Like, do what you do. Don't change up your winning formula. You know what I'm saying? Like Dane back in the day, he had a formula. He did what he did. Once you try to change it up, that's when you go wrong. DOS Effects had a formula. Then they try to go and change it up, and then everybody's like, they trash now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not saying for Wale to try to do anything. Don't try to be Nas. Don't try to be, whoever you think you're supposed to be. What you need to be is who you are. And on that level, I feel like Wale is a good artist, but I don't think that he will ever excel beyond a mid-level guy that can make you a hit record here and there. I just don't think he'll ever be an elite artist. And he could spit and do this, that, and the third. And yeah, he from my city. We grew up in the same circles and things like that. But I don't think that he trusts himself enough to put a lyrical album together, because he's so worried about the sales of it. He's so worried about people sleeping on him, and he still got to eat. It's a lot involved with that. So I feel like certain people, no matter how many records they make that are huge, they're going to always be B-level. They're going to always be mid-level. And I think Sean, no matter how many units he push, going to always be second thought. Like, he's on that Nas joint, and the response is 50-50 of the actual song he's on. Some people say it's all right. Some people say this guy is just messing up the whole album. So I say all that to say this album, right, Detroit 2, I did not listen to the Detroit mixtape. I have listened to Mad Little Sean Big Sean verses, and I think this dude is nice when he wants to be nice. I Don't Mess With You, that joint. I like quite a few of his joints. Click, Mercy, quite a few joints that he's on. I feel like he did his job. He rocked them. But I feel like listening to too much of Big Sean can be scary, because it's a lot of the same stuff. So I want to go into this album review right now. I'm not going to hold you. It's Sunday, the first day of football. We back in here, and I'm not going to hold you up. So what I want to say about Detroit 2, as my first listen of completely just Big Sean, Dolo. He got the joint with Nipsey on there. I'm not going to go song for song, because I'm going to be 100% honest, 100% real. I could not finish this album. I got halfway through. I was like, this joint is not popping at all. So this is my thing. What I got to say about Big Sean, right? When I tell you a guy, I don't feel like you're ever going to be top 10, top 5 if all you're doing is trap music over and over. To me right now, doing a trap record is saying I give up. In my opinion, you're not. If Jay-Z come out with a trap song, quit rapping. This is what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, for you to be top 5, you got to stand on the laurels of hip-hop or what it is. You can't put out a 21-song album and 15, 16 of them joints is trap beats. That means you're scared to fail, right? You're scared to fail. You want to be accepted desperately by these young kids. You don't want to really try something different, and you're scared to fail. I listened to this. The very first song is trap, right? And I'm not going to say you disqualified because you make a trap record. But what I am going to say is, when the first 5, 6 songs, 4 of them is trap beats, I can't put you in nobody's top 10. Nowhere. And not only that, this is my thing with Big Sean on this album. To me, it sounds like someone. If I took all the acapellas, if I take the first, I want to say 7 songs, right? Take out the Dave Chappelle skit, just him rapping, right? Take the beats out. From the beginning of the, if I just let the verses go, you would not know where one song started and where the other one ended. Big Sean raps on this song, on this album, almost uninspired. It's like he's talking. It's like he's like, I'm gonna write down all of the, everything that happened. It's like a diary. I just wrote a diary out and then I read it out loud and I let the beats play while I read it. It does not even sound like this kid is rapping anymore. It sounds like he's just talking to you, which they've always said, but now it's to a point where it's almost like a dude complaining about him being rich. You know, it's like if you really pay attention, this dude is literally complaining about being rich. Process this, bro. Like, Big Sean, I've never seen somebody with so many problems. And I understand he got the mental health issues going on. And, you know, we all do. So that's not, we're not going to be excusing people where this guy album is trash, but that guy album, we got to let it be what it is because he's going through mental health issues. No, we all going through that. So what I'm saying is, this guy, he said it like last year that it wasn't inspiring to him. And it sounded like it to me. It sound like Big Sean is completely unattached with hip hop. He is living his life and he feels forced to make hip hop. I don't think this game inspires him anymore. I think he's got a formula and it goes like this. I'm going to talk about me. For 80% of my verses, they're going to be about me. And when I talk about me, it's going to be how bad I feel or how good I feel that day, or how I feel people dogging me or mistreating me, or what I should have got, or how I feel like this is too much for me. It's just all a rack of complaining. It's like it's like emo music on 10. It's like you turned it up. Like you're washing the clothes and you poured the bleach and extra bleach. It's just over the top, complaining and whining. And I get it. You're supposed to be vulnerable sometimes if you're being yourself, and you're supposed to be retrospective, and you're supposed to be internalizing your life when you're rapping, right? And you're supposed to be throwing some Jews in here and there. He does all of that, but to the degree where you're not even sure if this guy is even remotely enjoying what he's having. It sounds like a guy that is always chasing the next thing because he's not happy with what he has, and what's over there is always out of reach, but he's gonna go get it. And I got $1 million, but over there is 2 million, so I'm gonna run and get the 2 million. Like, it's like, okay, but what about, where do we relate to this stuff at? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a lot of stuff, my mom, like, I understand you're supposed to be talking about your personal life. To me, it sounds like a dude just talking. It's not about to enrich you or me. It's like a therapy session that goes on for 20 songs. That's not enjoyable to me. I don't want to hear that. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Nipsey joint is good because Nip is good, right? These songs to me sound like a dude that it has great skill and he's coasting on the skill right now, because inspired stuff sounds way different. You get inspired to do different, amazing stuff. This sounds like a guy who got a color by numbers, paint by numbers book, and he's just painting, putting the colors where it says to put it, and then just handing it in for the label to release it. And it's not, I don't want to hear that. I got probably 8-9 songs in, and I even went back, listened to the same 8 or 9 songs, because I didn't want to go any further without knowing if I really didn't like the stuff before it. And this is the problem. It's not that it's bad. It's that it's not really innovative. It's mad trap and mad like just it sounds like he's just like emotional, and it's not really feeding anything that I want to eat, to me, in my opinion. Sean is a great, like, yeah, I'll come in, drop a verse on your joint, kill your joint. We got a couple people that suffer from that. You know what I'm saying? Sean will come in, murder your joint, but then go back and then sit down, and is all he can write about is some chick that did him wrong. What's wrong with this relationship? Or throw some name drop thing in there like, I hit up Kendrick. Oh, we lost a baby. All this stuff, which is big reveals. You understand? They big reveals and good and all that good stuff like that. But where's the, you know what I'm saying? It just, to me, like, I'm trying to find when he's going to elevate and step it over the level of, I'm miserable, don't be like me, or I'm trying to find myself. It's like I'm sitting in a giant TED Talk and the dude's talking that's not giving you the stuff. It's the guy reading the TED Talk actually gets to talk. You understand? It's not the guy that's writing it that's telling you, you know, all the interesting good stuff that you need to know. It's the guy reading it that's still trying to figure out who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have all the answers, but I don't want to hear a guy go 21 songs that sound like he don't even want to do the songs. So he got all these, and I've never seen this many producers. Like, if you go to one song on here, right? I'm going to gamble. You're not seeing less than 6 names under any given production. Like, this is a massive, like, this is like an orchestra. Like, all these hands on all these songs. And to me, I can't even get to the other half of the album. I can't get to it, man. It's just not. I'm like struggling. Like, I'm like sitting here like, yo, this is bad as a revival right now. Like, this is harsh. Hard to listen to this joint right now. And I don't want to be that guy piling on a dude that got stuff going on, and you know what I'm saying, he doing this and that, but this guy got a good life, bro. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to feel sorry for you. You probably got $50 million laying around somewhere. You taking trips, you spending money, you living good, bro. I don't want to hear how sad you are all the time. I don't want to hear that. How miserable and how all these bad stuff happen to you all the time, and you can't find love, and all, man, I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear that. I get it, you're supposed to speak your truth, but sometimes your truth, if you're trying to entertain at the same time, you need to entertain. I don't like the song with Ty Dolla $ign. I don't like a lot. It's okay. A lot of this stuff is mediocre, and that's why I got a problem. A lot of this stuff is mediocre. It's like if you let 4, 5, 15-year-olds in the room and ask them to pick the stuff that's hot, they would probably pick all this stuff. And I know Sean is in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost certain he's in his 30s. And to me, when you're in your 30s, you're supposed to hit a second gear with this music. You're supposed to be able to leapfrog into another level where it's like, wow, this dude's killing it. You're not supposed to sound the same on every single song. Your subject matter not supposed to be the same on almost every single song. It sounds like if you cut out the verses that he said 5 years ago and replace them with these, it would be the same. You can interchange these songs. It's like he's not elevating or becoming older, or it's like a guy that's going through circles, is running on a hamster wheel, saying the same stuff over and over, doing the same things over and over. And I know that that's harsh, and I know that that's kind of like messed up way to look at somebody else's work or somebody else's life. But it is what it is, bro. I'm just telling you how I feel. I know some people are going to be like, man, you really disrespectful to this guy's work, and you know he suffers from this and he suffers from that, but we all do, bro. And I don't get a chance to do mediocre stuff, or I have a job, I have stuff I have to do. I own a company. We can't be mediocre, bro. No matter if I don't want to go to work that day or not, we can't be mediocre. And I need everybody to understand, mental health does not give you a license to just be mediocre at something. That's not how this works. So I'm gonna honestly, and like I said, I don't think I've ever did a review where I only listened to. I don't think I listened to a third of this album. Probably a third. Maybe I think I cut something off before, but I don't know if I did a review on something I actually cut off. I cut off Kanye, but I went back and listened to it. But this, I'm not finishing this. I'm not, and I'm giving this a D. And I know the production is sleek and it's polished, and it's $1 million studios, and you know it's like a lot going on. But I feel like Sean is running in circles. I feel like a lot of this stuff is repetitive, and I feel like he's literally he's doing the Wale. He's whining about how great his life is. Process that. You got a great life, but you're always whining about it, man. So I'm gonna give this album a D, man. This is a good hard D for me, and that's all I gotta say about that, man. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Big Sean, man. Just you alright, bro. Like I like when he does his solo stuff, but not this. I'm gonna need you to come back, like do like Eminem did with Revival. Come back with a sneak album and just show me something, bro. It ain't about me, it's about you, because I think this top 5, top 10 conversation you trying to start, that's gonna end before it get going, man. My name is Chuck Wick Ill, aka Charles Brown. Subscribe, like the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff like that. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.